Hey, this is Todd Toback, and today I'm going to talk about an assumption that you can make that can cost you $50,000 or more every single month. And I'm going to show you how to not make it so that you can make a couple hundred grand extra every single year in your real estate wholesale business. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Todd Toback, and I've done close to 1,400 real estate wholesale deals. I've trained dozens of acquisition specialists, and I've trained the best investors across the country in real estate wholesaling. So if you have not been to our website, I have a special gift for you. It's called the Next Level Wholesaling Assessment. And if you want to expand your real estate wholesaling business so that you can get off the treadmill, you can have a huge bank account, you can do giant high profit deals and finally get off the treadmill of low profits and frustrating months and get off that income roller coaster, which is the worst, go to nextlevelwholesaling.com and download the assessment. There you can get a quick rating of your wholesaling business. It's completely private. It's just between you and the assessment. In a few minutes, it's going to become abundantly clear on the next step that you need to take your business to the next level. So go to nextlevelwholesaling.com. All right. So let's talk about this mistake that you could be making that may be costing you 50 grand or more, maybe per month. And that is the assumption that a seller is not motivated. Today, I was on a coaching call and I was talking to a super smart investor. We were doing a role play. And one of the things that I noticed in the role play was that he was assuming that the seller was not motivated enough to go out to the property. Okay, we had another investor who was on the call who was pretending to be a motivated seller who had a granddaughter living in the property. By the way, these are all really, really real scenarios. And basically, he was just talking about price and just not making an appointment to go out there. And I'm like, whoa, 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 stop the call. When you hear motivation in a prospect, and by the way, my thoughts have changed on this drastically over the last 24, 36 months, especially the environment we're in. And I'm going to just go off topic for a second. I've seen a lot of real estate wholesalers try to scale their business way too early, try to take their phone operation completely over the phone, kind of remove the belly-to-belly, face-to-face interaction, hire a bunch of acquisition specialists. And I've seen, especially in this market, people just go completely broke. They're not making enough money. They're spending too much money on marketing. They're exhausted, and their business is just not profitable. So because of this, a lot of these unsophisticated players who try to expand their business too quickly, they're out of business, or they're trying to do nationwide wholesaling and they have no competitive advantage. They can't close deals. They can't dispo them properly, right? They can't sell them for top dollar. And they are getting outmaneuvered by local wholesalers who know their market, who have excellent sales skills because, hint, hint, they listen to this podcast or watch YouTube and they build rapport and trust with the seller. Okay, so the hint is, and the assumption that you should never make, is that a seller is not motivated enough to do a deal. My advice to you, number one, be extremely aware when you are on the phone that you do not overqualify a seller. If a seller has a problem and they are in your market, it is your job to get out there, make an appointment, go belly to belly. I can tell you that 70% of sellers, they lie on the phone. Why? Because they're trying to protect themselves. They know a reputation of quote unquote sleazy salespeople, which is not true if you actually use our selling system. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But they are trained to keep their cards close to their chest and not give you that information and not tell you how motivated they are. And so because they're good at that, most wholesalers, they feel like they shouldn't go out there and they shouldn't waste their time. And I can tell you that nothing is further from the truth. If you have good negotiation skills and you are delegating your low administrative tasks and you have a good lead manager, which I all recommend, you are a closer. Your job is to meet with the seller belly to belly and negotiate big, fat, juicy wholesale deals, like $50K a pop, minimum. So if you're doing that, it is worth your time to get in your car and go out there and negotiate big, fat, juicy deals. Now, by the way, I'm all for building a team. I'm all for hiring acquisition specialists and training them. But until you got like $250,000 in the bank, like cash, you should be meeting with motivated sellers. There is nothing more profitable than locking up a big, fat, juicy wholesale deal for 50 grand and sticking that money. You get to keep almost all of it. So get out there. Do not over negotiate. Do not over qualify a seller. If you hear a problem, get out there. Now, here's the beauty of this. Think about this. You may say, Todd, that's a waste of time. Well, assume for a second that you go on 5 appointments and you spend 3 hours on each appointment. That is 15 hours, you belly to belly with the seller, and you only lock up 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5. That's 20% close ratio. Guess what? That is a very, very, very good week. Okay. And you do that every single week. That's $200,000 in profit. Or should I say gross profit. And because you've got a slim team and you're negotiating in this market the right way, you're outmaneuvering, you're building rapport, you're building a trust, you've got reviews with your online presence, you are dominating your local market. You could do 100 and 200 grand in your local market if you're going on 5 appointments a week. Sure, 4 out of 5, you're not going to lock up. I'll take 1 out of 5 every single day of the week if you're negotiating properly. By the way, if you're not negotiating properly, you got to invest in the no limit selling system. Go to nolimitsalessystem.com/backdoor, nolimitsalessystem.com/backdoor. And that's the system I use to train my acquisition specialist. From people who start out not being able to get 2 words out of their mouth to literally locking up millions of real estate wholesale deals every single year. And I can tell you that if you want to do big deals, you want to compress the sales cycle, you want to lose the fear of rejection and getting beat up on the phone, then you got to invest in it. Check it out. Price is so reasonable. nolimitsalessystem.com/backdoor. And so get those tasks, those administrative tasks delegated by hiring a good virtual assistant. And then 2, as soon as you can afford it, you want to hire a lead manager. You want to be closing. That is so, so, so important. So you're like, okay, Todd, how do I break this down into real life? Number 1, if you hear motivation on the phone, do not make an assumption of what price the seller will take. Okay, sometimes you'll hear motivation, the seller might give you a price, and you're like, okay, we're too far off. No. I don't care how far you are off on price. If the seller has a motivation, they've got a problem, go out there and meet with them. So, so, so important. The other part about this is be very careful about sellers who say that they've gotten 4 or 5 postcards in the mail and that you're competing with them. I do not like to compete. I don't want you to compete or have to compete, but it's really important sometimes. The seller is talking to maybe 4 or 5 people who are out of the area, who are not following up, who are just shooting off offers that are just, they have no knowledge of local market. And so maybe you are the only local person that they are talking to. And so I've seen other wholesalers kind of not go out on an appointment because they felt like they were competing, and really nobody showed up, and they went up doing business with another local wholesaler, even lower than what the local wholesaler offered in the beginning, if that makes sense. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? You would disagree? Have you ever missed out on an appointment where, or missed out on a deal where another local wholesaler went out and locked one up underneath you? Oh, that sucks. My goal for you is to never have that happen. Never lose a deal. Get out there, as long as a big fat juicy one, right? If you've got a little skinny deal, a little tiny $5,000-$10,000. Let your competitors fight over those, right? You want the monsters, right? You want to be a whale hunter. That is my goal for you. And I got to tell you what, my most successful clients, my most successful partners, they all understand this, have accepted this. They brainwashed themselves that they deserve nothing less. So go ahead and lock up a monster. Also in the comments, let me hear about a recent monster that you've locked up. I would love to hear. Talk to you soon.